Good morning, students. I hope all of you are going to click the fresh link only due to some technical errors. The earlier link is disabled and the new fresh link is given to you. Please click on that and definitely you will be able to join the new class. So before we begin today's class, I just want to recap the things that we discussed in the last class. In our last class, we discussed the chapter that was Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. And of this chapter, two worksheets are given. Already I have uploaded on your Google Classroom app. There are two PDF files are given. These are module 1 and module 2. These two modules you discuss, you write in your fair notebook and submit your answers to that Google Classroom app only. I think all of you know how to submit, as you are already familiar with the new system to submit the notebooks. So simply take a click of your paper where you have written the answers, make a single PDF file for single worksheet. एक वर्कशीट के लिए आप एक ही PDF फाइल जनरेट करेंगे, then you upload with your link with your email ID. I think most of the students are able to do it. Otherwise, take the help of your parents to do it. Okay, one more thing. Day before yesterday, I have given this one 4 worksheets. 2 worksheets which are related to a triumph of surgery chapter and 2 worksheets related to Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. And latest by Monday you complete that up to 6th July. And if it is possible to submit before that, you can do it. In that, in addition to these 4 worksheets, 2 worksheets which are related to Long Walk to Freedom, you need to write the answers related to comprehension check 1, that is given on page number 18. 5 questions are there. You write the answers of these 2. Comprehension check 2, that is given on page number 21. Again, 5 simple questions are given to you, and definitely you will be able to find out the answer of all these. Write them too. Or 3 questions which are given on page number 24. Oral comprehension check 3, that you write 3 questions related to that also. So it is quite simple to understand the answer. See the question number 1, oral comprehension check 3, page number 24. What twin obligations does Mandela mention? Nelson Mandela ने जो twin obligations बताए, 1 for our family, I have certain obligations to my family, one thing. Second one, to my nation, India. तो नेल्सन मंडेला ने तो भी वही 2 मेंशन किए, एक फैमिली ऑब्लिगेशन और दूसरा नेशन के लिए जो ऑब्लिगेशन है. And the same obligations we do have. Okay. So, and last one, thinking about the text. 5 questions are given. So you write all these question answers also in your notebook and submit. Okay. So today, without wasting much time, we are going to begin the new chapter, that is 2 stories about flying. And it is very motivational story, very interesting also you may say. It motivates us, it encourages us to do something big in our life. हम क्या क्या अपन कर सकते हैं उसके लिए. It motivates us, it encourages us, and it tells the main idea of these 2 stories. 2 stories about flying may be part 1 we are going to discuss today. So first we will discuss module 1, that is given. This one you can see 2 stories about flying, part 1, the first part by module 1 we are going to discuss. And that first I will discuss briefing of the story with the help of module 1. It is very inspirational. And then followed by part 1 text that begins from page number 32. Let me explain it. आज की क्लास में सबसे पहले मैं मॉड्यूल 1 डिस्कस करूंगा, दैट इज ब्रीफिंग ऑफ द स्टोरी. मॉड्यूल 1, आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ यू हैव टेकन द प्रिंट ऑफ इट. जब भी आपको कोई मॉड्यूल आपको सप्लाई करे, प्लीज टेक द प्रिंट ऑफ इट. उसका पहले ब्रीफिंग करेंगे अपन. Then the text that is given page number 32, we will discuss line by line, word by word. So part 1, the first applied. मैं पहले आपको स्टोरी का ब्रीफिंग कर रहा हूँ. First of all, I am going to tell you what is given in the story in brief, and what is the summary you may say. What are the key points to be discussed in the story that we are going to discuss now. Okay, so be ready with module 1. The first flight, and this part 1 is under the heading 2 stories about flying. दो कहानियां दे रखी हैं, स्टोरी दे रखी है फ्लाइंग के बारे में. First one is the first flight, and in part 1 we are going to discuss about a sea bird named as seagull. Today in part 1 we are going to discuss about a sea bird जिसका नाम अपन सी गर्ल बोलते हैं. In what way he has learned to fly with the help of his wings. But the title is very interesting to know. It's the first flight. For example, you have gone for you have traveled in the aeroplane, and that you write your experiences. In the same way, seagull, that is a newly born baby, in what way he learns how to fly. That kind of story is given, and it is very much interesting, very much inspirational, you may say. Very motivating it is. It encourages us also to do something well in our life. Okay. See, in the beginning of this, you are asked some of the questions related to, have you ever flown in an aeroplane? कभी आप हवाई जहाज में उड़े हैं? So obviously most of the students may or may not be. It is up to you. What one can be worried about when one is flying for the first time? For example, it is your first air visit. पहली बार एरोप्लेन में बैठ रहे हैं. So what worries are there? Worries here calls what kind of apprehension do we may have? Obviously, एक छोटा बच्चा, for example, क्लास 10th और 6th और 7th 8th तो कोई भी क्लास का बच्चा होगा, फर्स्ट अगर फ्लाइट विजिट होगा या फर्स्ट एरोप्लेन विजिट होगा, डेफिनेटली he is crazy enough. But at the same time, certain apprehensions, a kind of fear also there in his or her mind. You may wonder, what if something goes wrong with the aeroplane engine in mid-air? This is the common apprehension. This is the common fear, you may say. This is the common worry, you may say. एक जनरल सा सवाल आता है कि मान लीजिए अपना फ्लाइट टेक ऑफ किया और इन द मिड एयर, suppose the engine of that aeroplane stops working. मान लीजिए जो इंजन है एरोप्लेन का, it stops working. That what will happen? This is the common general apprehension, fear, worry in the mind of a person who goes first time for the flight. Now the question is, do birds have such worries when they fly? क्योंकि birds cannot survive without flying. Birds को अगर जीवित रहना है, birds को अपना लाइफ स्टाइल या क्या बोले कि अपनी लाइफ जीनी है, तो definitely they need to learn how to fly. So question is, do birds have such worries when they fly? बर्ड को कभी वरी होता है कि मैं फ्लाई कर रहा हूँ, कभी मेरा इंजन स्टॉप हो गया? इंजन refers to, suppose the bird's body stops working. मैं चल रहा हूँ, चलते चलते मेरा बॉडी स्टॉप वर्किंग. सो कभी क्या ऐसे बर्ड्स को डर लगता है? Older birds may not have such worries, and it is very much clear. जिन्होंने उड़ना सीख लिया, the birds who have learned to fly, they do not have such worries in their mind. But what about a young bird? Young bird refers to newly born bird. बच्चा तो as you were also newly born baby 15 years back. So at that time you learned how to walk, and at that time you were trying to get up, trying to move. In between you were falling, or you were helped by your parents or elders in the family. Older birds may not have such worries that they will fall in between, but what about a young bird? Obviously, they have same apprehension that than for a person who is flying first time in the aeroplane. The story First Flight tells us how does a young seagull, as I discussed earlier, it's a sea bird, समुद्र में रहने वाला एक पक्षी है, how he learns when he is going to fly for the first time. How does young seagull, young seagull mean newly born seabird, feel when he is going to fly for the first time? That kind of story is given in it. This actually makes us remember some of the things that we tried to learn when we were very young. When we were also just like a newly born baby, at that time it usually reminds us to see the things when we were very small, when we were just like a newly born baby. At that time, how we learned how to walk. At that time, when we were newly born baby, that you see in our surrounding also, कोई भी आसपास में अगर कोई पड़ोसी के छोटा बच्चा newly born baby है, how the parents, how the siblings or the elders in the family helped us to overcome the initial fear and agitation in our mind while we attempted to learn these things. और at that time अपने अपने जो भी चलने में जो agitation था, we were unable to walk, we were unable to stand up. At that time, our parents helped, our siblings, those who are elders in the family, they helped us. The writer has also beautifully described the initial agitation in the mind of the seagull to fly for fear of falling down in the sea. और writer ने बहुत अच्छे से beautifully the writer has described what kind of fear a small or you may say young seagull has in its mind, and his subsequent act of overcoming the fear. कैसे उसके दिल दिमाग में इस तरह का डर है seagull के, that she wants to learn how to fly, because without learning that skill of flying, a bird cannot survive. So in the same manner, in this whole story, the writer has beautifully described what kind of initial agitations this young seagull has in its mind, and how beautifully his subsequent act of overcoming the fear by taking the successful flight with the help of his mother, or how beautifully he has learned to have its first flight with the help of his mother. And as you all know, mothers play the key role in bringing up a child. Most of the role is played by mother only. So this seagull was also helped by its mother. Here we do not use its mother, his mother. It's so seagull की mother ने उसका help किया. So in the whole story, what kind of initial agitation this bird has to fly, and consequently in what way he has developed or learned that skill with the help of his mother, that is explained very beautifully by the writer in this chapter. The story in brief, you see, the young seagull was waiting on his ledge where he was sitting to make the first flight. It was the day for him to take the first flight. It's the first day. पहला दिन था जब उसको learn करना था how to fly. Flying was one of the most essential life skills he required to live. And it is not only for this seagull, it is applicable to all the birds. This is the one of the most essential skill to be learned. हर बर्ड के लिए जरूरी है कि वो फ्लाई करना सीखे. His siblings had already begun to fly. Elders in the family, brothers, sisters, cousins, they have already learned to fly. They could fly well. At that time, they were teasing him also. And this teasing was working in the form of encouragement, motivation for this seagull. His siblings had already begun to fly and fish on the same day. It was not that he hadn't given it a try. It was not like this that this young seagull, newly born seabird, didn't try to fly. As we know, the newly born baby tries to walk, tries to crawl, but sometimes unable to stand up. When the child is around 9, 10 months old, around 1 years old, he tries to walk, he tries to stand up, but sometimes usually fall also. The same thing happens with this young sea bird also. It is not like this that he didn't try to fly. He tried but couldn't get success. But it was not more than just flapping the wings and running till the brink of the lace. But it was not like this that simply you need to flap the wings and you will fly. That you need motivation, you need encouragement, you need that kind of self confidence to fly. That we can learn from this story also. Self confidence is very much essential in our life too. And most of the stories which are given in our syllabus, they motivate us, they encourage us. I'm sorry. So, what the writer says that it was not the matter that simply you need to flap the wings and you will fly. It is the confidence too, self confidence that they want to fall. Running till the brink of the lace, the fear of the falling down in the sea, and lack of confidence in his own inner ability, was holding him back from flying. It was that he was lacking the confidence. He was having that kind of fear, apprehension in his mind. कि मान लीजिए मैं उड़ा और कहीं समुद्र में गिर गया, I may fall in the sea. The lack of self-confidence. As you have learned everything, you have come to write the exam, but you do not have the confidence. So because of that, whatever you have learned at home, you usually forget in the classroom, in the exam hall. And the same thing, same kind of fear, this seagull also has. उसको भी लग रहा है कि केवल मेरे को फ्लैप थोड़ी करना ऊपर जाके, कॉन्फिडेंस चाहिए. And this bird is unable to gain the confidence to fly. Okay? And he had returned to his hole under the lace and still tries but do not have the confidence, so comes back. Even the shrill call from his parents and the threats to abandon him on his ledge to stop unless he flew away. These warnings are also given by his parents, by his siblings कि अगर आप उड़ना नहीं सीखे ना तो हम आपको खाना नहीं देंगे. And it was not like this that the small ones in the family, suppose they are given such a threatening or such warnings कि आप आज को खाना नहीं मिलेगा. It is not like this. To make the change in the child, usually parents or elders in the family use this tool. The same tool is used by birds also, elder birds in the family. तो सीगल का जो मदर था, फादर था, सिबलिंग्स थे, फैमिली मेंबर्स थे, एल्डर्स थे, they usually used to give warning to this bird कि अगर आप आज नहीं उड़े ना, suppose you do not learn to fly, we want to give food to you. And it was not like this that they were not interested to give food to it. It was that they wanted to make him learn how to fly. उनका उद्देश्य था कि ये भी सीखे how to fly. And obviously, as we are also given the training to survive in this world by our parents, in the same way, birds are also given the training by their own parents. So, he spent the entire day watching his brothers, sisters, learning to fly, skim the waves, and dive for fish successfully. And for the whole day, because of lack of the confidence, he was watching his siblings, parents, that they were diving, they dives inside the sea, collect the fish, and enjoying it. Nobody had returned to him to share the fish he caught, and nobody was there to share the food with this small one. As I have told earlier, that parents usually threat you that today you won't get food, today you won't get this thing. It is not like that they do not want to give. It is like that they want to encourage to complete that thing. The same thing is applicable to this seagull also. This seagull, this small newly born baby or bird was encouraged by his parents, by his siblings, elders in the family कि आज आपको खाना नहीं मिलेगा. Suppose you do not fly. They simply encourage this newly born baby to fly because it is one of the essential skills to be learned by a bird to fly. अगर bird को fly करना नहीं आता means this bird is unable to survive. Okay. It was morning again, and he had been without food since last nightfall. From last night itself, he was not given the food. As he tried to fly but couldn't because of this one you call lack of confidence. उड़ नहीं पा रहा था. But पिछले रात से उसको खाना नहीं दिया गया. Because others in the family, elders in the family, including parents, wanted to see him fly. His parents' siblings could be seen walking midway down the opposite cliff, opposite side, opposite wall, taunted him to for his cowardice to take flight. And सारे लोग उसको they used to call him cowardice. इसको अपन बोलते हैं कि इसका confidence नहीं है. It was afternoon, and hunger was killing him. And again, I wish to tell you that they called him cowardice, not to make him. You may say कि उसको weak करने के लिए नहीं था. This was to encourage him. It was afternoon, and hunger was killing him. और अभी आफ्टरनून टाइम आ गया और कितने देर तक एक बर्ड वेट करे और वो भी छोटा बर्ड स्मॉल वन न्यूली बोर्न बेबी. So it was afternoon on that day, and hunger was just about to kill. He pretended to be asleep to attract their attention, and he tried one trick to collect the food from them. He pretended himself that he was sleeping. जैसे सोने जैसा उसने पोज ले लिया so that they will come close to him thinking that he is dead, and at that time what kind of fish they are carrying in their mouth na he will collect it. So that kind of you may say he pretended himself to be asleep to attract the attention of his family members including the parents. However, nobody took any notice of him except for his mother. किसी ने नहीं देखा. Mothers, you know, they are much caring. You may say they are very close to us. So obviously mothers, you may call that they care us the most. So किसी ने भी notice नहीं किया, पापा ने भी notice नहीं किया, family members और जो elders थे in the family, they also did not notice him, but only mother noticed. So here the importance of mother is also given. Our mothers in the family, our mummy ji plays the key role to look after us, especially when we are very small. She tried, however, nobody took any notice of him except his mother. She tried to lure the seagull. She tried to tempt the seagull. As a small child, they are usually shown the chocolate or the toffee, you may say. He will come forward to collect it. Simply to you wish to encourage that you can walk and take and collect it in that way. So mother came near to this bird and she tried to tempt him to take the flight by tearing a piece of the fish that lay at her feet. She was showing a piece of that fish. कि बेटा आ जाओ ले लो. Just like chocolate is given to the small child, she was showing a piece of that you may say fish. He begged her for food by giving shrill cry, but she didn't bring him any food. And mother was also interested to make him learn how to fly. Mother की भी इच्छा है कि वो कब तक मैं इसको खाना दूंगी. He should be self-dependent. All the time we talk about self-dependent, confidence and all. So it is given. Here also, in this whole chapter, the importance of independence given, self-respect that we call self-confidence, that is also there. And the need for motivation to attain goals. Okay? So this is all about. The mother was also sewing a piece of fish to it to get it tempted and fly. कि उसको collect करने के लिए वो जो sea bird that will fly. He begged for her food by giving shrill cry. Shrill cry, जोर-जोर से आवाजें कर रहा है, मम्मी please, please, I'm seriously very much hungry. Please, I need food. She didn't bring him any food, but उसको कोई खाना नहीं दिया गया. Wanted him to fly off the ledge to the ocean and finish for himself, to collect the fish for himself. And she wanted to see that my own child be, how he should be the self-dependent and should collect his food by himself. But his pleadings for food became more pathetic. But you know, finally, mother तो एक ऐसी चीज है चीज़ भी नहीं कहेंगे, मतलब ऐसी एक ह्यूमन बीइंग है इन अवर लाइफ कि जब बच्चा इतना जोर से रोता है तो फादर, फैमिली मेंबर्स, they are not much attracted, much connected to the child. But mother, after all, mother, you know. So seeing that in what way the situation was pathetic, this is described very beautifully in the text. Here, one extract is also given that we'll discuss when I will discuss the chapter. The mother decided to try something different to encourage her chick to take a flight. Now, mother was thinking in another way. She was with plan B. Plan A didn't work. Plan A में तो उसने इसको एक फिश दिखाया और कहा कि बेटा कलेक्ट करो, बट प्लान ए डिडंट वर्क. तो जब एक प्लान काम नहीं करता, वी आर यूजुअली विद प्लान बी और सी. She picked up a piece of the fish and flew across to him, but stopped a short distance away just opposite to him. और उसने दिस टाइम क्या किया, वो एक फिश का पीस लेके उसके चारों तरफ घूम रही है. He was not able to understand why she was not coming near to him, or this child, this sea bird, is unable to understand why she is not coming near to him. Maddened by hunger, he dived at the piece of fish in the beak of his mother, but he had missed the fish and found himself falling outwards and downwards into space. Or first time this bird tried to collect the food but couldn't collect it and fall down. He was terrified for some time. डर लगा काफी. He was having that kind of apprehension, fear in his mind. He got little bit pain also. But this is the first attempt to collect the food. Means a little hope was there in the mind of the mother. This time, this bird will learn to fly. And this is, as I discussed earlier, one of the important skills for a bird to learn how to fly. He spread his wings and they supported him mid-air, and now he was flying, or he was supported by other people. He had overcome his fear of falling down, but this time he has learned how to fly. Although he was supported by, जैसे आप newly born baby या फिर after attaining the age of 2-3, when the child learns to bicycle चलाना सीखता है, वो कभी गिरता है, कभी उठता है, कभी बैठता है, in the same manner. And at that time, parents usually support the child not to fall, to make him learn how to make cycling. His parents, his brothers, sisters joined him in his flight, and all of them were flying. All the family members, parents, brother, sister, सब लोग उसके साथ उड़ रहे हैं और encourage कर रहे हैं. Wow, wow, promoting, encouraging, motivate कर रहे हैं. And you know, these are the two important skills to make somebody learn something, that is motivation and encouragement. Suppose you motivate somebody to learn something, you encourage somebody, then definitely you will attain the success, attain the goal. His parents, brothers, sisters joined him in his flight, cheering and congratulating. All of them just cheer. Acha kar rahe ho, bahut acha, well done, bravo, like this. And at the same time, they are congratulating him for his first flight, for having successfully taken the first flight. And it was the first flight. और beginning में मैंने बताया कि we have this kind of apprehension when we go for first time flight में अपन जाते हैं, तो this kind of apprehension we may also have, and this bird has the apprehension in mind. Suppose I fly or the engine stops working, then what will happen? It usually doesn't happen, but technical errors may take place, so this may happen too. He lowered himself over the green sea to follow them on the water. His legs sank in the water the moment he made an attempt to stand on the sea. His belly touched the water. This was the first time that this seabird touched the level of the water. And he sank no more, and he was floating on the water, and he was happy to see, as he has attained the self confidence. अब वो देख रहा कि उड़ भी गया, उड़ने के बाद जो सी वाटर का जो सरफेस है उसमें बैठ भी गया और उसे लगा कि मैं डूब ही नहीं रहा हूं. It means he has gained the self confidence. That confidence has come, touched the water, he sank no more, and he was floating on the water. He was surrounded by his family members who were praising him, and उसके चारों तरफ all the family members, including parents, brothers, sisters, were there, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish. His flight was complete. This is all about the story. So, in what way he has learned, and the main ideas which are expressed here, the importance of independence, self belief, self confidence, the need for motivation to attain goals. So, all these things are explained here. Or one more thing that we will discuss at the end of the chapter, that is metaphor. We will discuss, already discussed. In one of the earlier modules that we discussed in the month of April, I have made one separate video that is related to simile, metaphor, personification. So you can refer to that also, and little bit I will explain it too. So already time is getting over, so please be with your book. Part 1. It is page number 32. Be with your book. Now I will explain the text line by line. Part 1 is the first flight. Please be with your book. The young seagull means seabird, was alone on his ledge, the living place where it lives. His two brothers and one sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run towards or forward to the brink of the ledge, attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. He got a kind of apprehension, fear he got in the mind. ये न्यूली बॉर्न बेबी है and he wanted to fly, but उसको कहीं ना कहीं डर लग रहा है. He is unable to get the self confidence. He is lacking self confidence, you may say. Self belief नहीं है, self trust नहीं है. That is very much needed in one's life. The great expanse of sea stretched towards beneath. It was such a long way down, miles down. He felt certain that his wings would never support him, and he was having that fear in his mind कि हो सकता है उसके विंग्स सपोर्ट नहीं करें. जैसा कि आपके अंदर ये अप्रियंसन है कि फर्स्ट फ्लाइट पे आप कभी एरोप्लेन में जाएंगे और मान लीजिए द मिड एयर the engine of the aeroplane stops working. That kind of fear it also has. He felt certain that his wings would never support him, so he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. Even when each of his brothers or his sister, little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings, flew away, and he could see his brothers, sisters in the family, जितने भी elders थे family में, they could fly well. He used to see them, but not motivated. He failed to muster up, to gather up courage to take that plunge, to get that dive, which appeared to him so desperate, so hopeless. His father, his mother had come around calling to him shrilly, means sharply. At the time when you do not learn something, usually our parents shout. The same manner, his parents also were shouting a lot to make him learn how to fly. So shrilly means in a sharp voice and upbraiding him, scolding, rebuking, threatening to let him starve on his legs unless he flew away. And they usually threaten him to learn. I have explained when I was briefing you about the story. Na? At that time also I told the same, that he was given the threatening, he was scolded, even rebuked by his parents कि जब तक आप फ्लाई करना नहीं सीखेंगे you won't get food. And such warnings are given by our parents too to make us learn something. But for the life of him, he could not move. But he was gaining. He was unable to gain the self-belief, self-confidence, or because of that, he couldn't make a move. That was 24 hours ago. Since then, nobody had come near him. Around 24 hours are over, and nobody has come to help him because they wanted to see him die because of hunger so that he may learn something. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sister, perfecting them in the art of flight, teaching them how to skim the waves, to move lightly just above the surface, and how to dive for fish. And he could see his parents that in what way they were teasing. They were teaching his brothers and sister how to dive in the sea to collect a fish, to collect food. He had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring, and devour it. Herring is a kind of fish that is specially available in the sea only. Standing on a rock while his parents circled around, raising a proud crackle. What kind of sound was made by them? At all the morning, the whole family had walked about on the big plateau, that is plain area that we call, midway down the opposite side of that cliff, taunting him. And they used to taunt him. उसके ऊपर taunt कसते थे. That you cannot fly. कुछ नहीं कर सकता. Die out of hunger. Like this. They used to taunt him. The words which are related to taunt, threatening, upbraiding, scolding, rebuking, or shouting, all are related to make him learn how to fly. The sun was now ascending the sky, blazing on his legs that faced the south. From the he was getting the scorching heat from sky. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous night. From last previous night he has not eaten anything. So he felt more heat compared to other birds. He stepped slowly out to the brink, out to the edge of the lace, and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing. He closed one eye, then the another eye, or pretended to be falling asleep. And he was pretending himself in such a way that others could see that he is sleeping. Still, they took no notice of him. Like, किसी ने नहीं देखा. He saw his two brothers, sisters lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. He could see all of them, but nobody noticed him. His father was preening, making an effort to maintain the feathers on his white back. Only his mother was looking at him. As you know, mothers are after all mothers only, and they are more caring in nature. So, mother noticed the child. Mother noticed this newly born seabird. She was standing on little high place on the plateau, her white breast thrust forward, as mothers are usually in the habit to show their affection and love, you may say. So her white breast thrust forward, means she wanted to give food or milk, you may say. Now and again, she tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet, and then scraped each side off, rubbed each side of her beak on the rock. The sight of the food maddened this sight of the food, seeing the food itself. As we are hungry and we see something, means we are tempted to collect it, eat it. The same thing happened with this child also, with this bird also. That as soon as he saw food in the beak of his mother, he got maddened, means he wanted to get it anyhow. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now, and again to wet it, again to sharpen it, in what way he liked to take food. So, up to that, we have finished. That is up to page number 34. We will continue the same story in our next class, as well as part 2 also we will begin, that is the black aeroplane. And today I will upload module 1 worksheet on your this one Google platform that we call Google Classroom app. There I will upload one sheet that is related to worksheet related to his first flight that you complete or upload on this Google platform or Google Classroom app. I'll check it and send it back to you. So good day.